All right, guys. So after doing the review of with Spawn, the Adventures of Spawn comic, and also the announcements of like all these cartoons getting their own comics, there's still a few characters out there who still, I think, deserve to have their own, to come off the bench and get their own comics. So we've seen that with like Biker Mice from Mars, Street Sharks, of course, Gargoyles, and also a lot of the Hanna-Barbera books, but also some of the cartoons from the 90s and whatnot. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about some cartoons that I think deserve to come off the bench and get their own comic book at some point. So yeah, starting off, I would absolutely love, and I've talked about it before, Extreme Dinosaurs. The Extreme Dinosaurs have been a cartoon I absolutely love. You know, it makes my dumb autistic dino nerd kid happy, and I really love that series. And again, with Street Sharks out, there's no excuse IDW just can't go back to Mattel and go, hey, can we use these? Would be cool. Like, can we use Extreme Dinosaurs? That has to be on the table, right? Like, if Street Sharks does well enough, I would have to imagine they'd probably talk about Extreme Dinosaurs, right? So there you go. Moving on to another one, and this one could be done by Dynamite, because this is under Warner Brothers, and that is Road Rovers. Road Rovers is another cartoon that I think was gone too soon, but I do think it's garnered enough of a massive fan base to really, like, showcase that it could still be a good continuation. I think it could be a good, I'm not saying like make it like edgy and dark. I think you can make it a good episodic series. Again, kind of giving that Saturday morning cartoon feel. I think that would be, I think I could go either way. Or they could just do like a remake and make it a little more for a grown-up audience, like they've been doing with Space Ghost and a few other titles. So that'd be cool. So Road Rovers and Extreme Dinosaurs were kind of like the top two on my list. I just wanted to get those out of the way. For others, this is an older one, and no one remembers this show, but I think it's got enough cult following that I think it could probably get its name out there. And that is the Centurions. Do y'all remember the Centurions? It used to be, I only watched it on Boomerang. It was like guys who could like get armament put on them, like G.I. Joe, but with like a mech warrior kind of feel. So Centurions, I think you could definitely, I think that could go to Dynamite and really have some cool action and make it a more of a darker story. I think also you could really play with the whole thing of like melding man and machine. I think that would be a really cool aspect to play with. So Centurions absolutely would be on that list, if you ask me. Yeah, so sorry, I just lost myself. So yeah, Centurions is one would absolutely love. Following that, and this is one I think would be a lot of... this one would... no one remembers it but me. Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys. This cartoon was so... like, the epitome of... I don't... like, it had to be made in some... after some dude did a line of coke in a boardroom and said, I don't care how goddamn ridiculous it is, make a cartoon out of it. Also, it had a pretty banger intro. So Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys... yeah, honestly, you could get... I would love to see Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing do that comic. I don't know who owns the rights to Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys, but I really do think that could be as a cool comeback series, or a new reboot, too. I'm not ruling that out. I wouldn't rule that out either. For another, Mummies Alive. Mummies Alive was also, I think, under Mattel, if I'm not mistaken, so if IDW can get, if it can get that going, that'd be really cool. That's a show I think you could get away with making it a little more grown up and aged up. I think you could do a lot of cool stuff with the kind of mummy, like darker Egyptian mythology, and also talk about Ramsey, who is the reincarnation of Ramesses in this series, and talk about like how being reincarnated kind of affects you as a person. Scarab, I think you could make a lot scarier. I think that would be really cool. For others, I think I'm surprised Gummy Bears hasn't gotten a new comic book from Dynamite. gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Another great intro, but gummy bears I think would be another one I think could easily carry its own comic. We've seen this kind of influx of like 9 of the Disney afternoon cartoons getting their comics from Dynamite, and again, out of all of them, I'm like, where's Gummy Bears? And I'm not even the biggest Gummy Bears fans. I just kind of know that show had a massive following, so I'm kind of shocked Gummy Bears never got all, like never hasn't gotten its comic yet. Maybe they'll announce it someday. Who knows? There's also the whole thing of Bonkers. Bonkers is another one I'm shocked hasn't gotten a new comic book yet. And I don't think I don't think we'll ever get Quack Pack, if I'm being honest. There's no way we are probably getting a Quack Pack cartoon. Now, here's one I have talked about for years, hoping that IDW would bring it over when they had the rights with Hasbro. But now, with Image no longer, Image now with Skybound, Image and Skybound making this new universe and already introducing a new element. I'm like, well, I can't wait to see when they introduce this element, I hope. Obviously, for a minor spoiler, they introduced Mask. They just introduced Mask into the Energon universe. Or like one character, Matt Tracker. So we know Mask is coming to this universe. But here's the other one I really want to see. The Inhumanoids. I would absolutely go nuts if the Inhumanoids actually showed up. Could you imagine Metlar and Megatron throwing down in this continuity? The idea of because the Inhumanoids is so terrifying. I would love to have a legit comic writer, take over that book and do some really horrendous things, like what you could do with Decompose's powers, some body horror stuff with Nightcrawler, just all around. I think Inhumanoids. I don't know what the deal is with the rights. But yeah, Inhumanoids, I would hope that Skybound would use, because IDW never got to use them. I would absolutely love to have the Inhumanoids make an appearance in the Energon universe, because that was a missed opportunity that was absolutely a missed opportunity for IDW. There's so many. That's the thing. There's so many cartoons that could easily work for comic books. I would even love to see Freakazoid get a comic. I think Freakazoid, you can't, it would be so great to be I know what you're have a moment where you could have Jerry Duggan Jerry Duggan would probably be good. He actually has some solid. He's actually pretty funny in comics. So I'd love to have a moment where Freakazoid is comes on the page and is so I couldn't get. I argued with Warner Brothers lawyers for 30 years, but all they could give me was a stupid fucking comic. So here I am. I know I got to compete with the other guy who breaks the fourth wall, who wears a red suit, but my comic's cheaper. Yeah, I would love. Yeah, that's perfect. Freakazoid, have it be Deadpool Light, Deadpool Light. I think also, I'm looking at others real quick on my DVD collection that could service getting a comic book. Stormhawks, absolutely. Stormhawks did have a comic book for a little bit, but I think it'd be cool to reboot the series under a new title and whatnot. But yeah, those are. I could go on and on and on, but that's really all I have. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what cartoons would you love to see get a comic book adaptation? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.